Who is SCP-096? Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-096 is to be contained in its cell in a 5 meter by 5 meter by 5 meter airtight steel cube at all times. Weekly checks for any cracks or holes are mandatory. There are to be absolutely no video, surveillance, or optical tools of any kind inside 096's cell. Security personnel will use pre-installed pressure sensors and laser detectors to ensure SCP-096's presence inside the cell. Any and all photos, video, or recordings of 096's likeness are strictly forbidden without approval from Dr. Redacted and 05-Redacted. Description: SCP-096 is a humanoid creature measuring approximately 2.38 meters in height. Subject shows very little muscle mass, with preliminary analysis of body mass suggesting mild malnutrition. Arms are grossly out of proportion with the rest of the subject's body, with an approximate length of 1.5 meters each. Skin is mostly devoid of pigmentation, with no sign of any body hair. SCP-096's jaw can open to 4 times the norm of an average human. Other facial features remain similar to an average human, with the exception of the eyes, which are also devoid of pigmentation. It is not yet known whether SCP-096 is blind or not. It shows no signs of any higher brain function, and is not considered to be sapient. 096 is normally extremely docile, with pressure sensors inside each cell indicating it spends most of the day pacing by the eastern wall. However, when someone views 096's face, whether it be directly via video recording or even a photograph, it will enter a stage of considerable emotional distress. SCP-096 will cover its face with its hands and begin screaming, crying, and babbling incoherently. Approximately 1 to 2 minutes after the first viewing, 096 will begin running to the person who viewed its face, with whom from this point on will be referred to as 096-1. Documented speeds have varied from 35 kilometers per hour to redacted, and seems to spend on distance from SCP-096-1. At this point, no known material or method can impede 096's progress. The actual position of 096-1 does not seem to affect 096's response. It seems to have an innate sense of 096-1's location. Note, this reaction does not occur when viewing artistic depictions of SCP-096. Upon arriving at 096-1's location, SCP-096 will proceed to kill and maim or even rip apart 096-1. 100% of cases have left no traces of 096-1. SCP-096 will then sit down for several minutes before regaining its composure and becoming docile once again. It will then attempt to make its way back to its natural habitat. Due to the possibility of a mass chain reaction, including breach of Foundation secrecy and large civilian loss of life, retrieval of the subject should be considered an alpha priority. Audio log from interview regarding 096-1. Captain, it always sucks ass to get initial retrieval duty. You have no idea what the damn thing is capable of besides what jacked up information the field techies can scrap up. You're lucky if they even tell you the whole story. They told us to bag and tag, didn't tell us jack shit about not looking at the damn thing. The doctor. Could you describe the mission, please? Yeah, sorry. We had 2 choppers. One with my team and one on backup with Zulu 9-B. We spotted the target about 2 clicks north of our patrol path. I'm guessing he wasn't facing our direction, else he would have taken us out right then and there. Your report says SCP-096 didn't react to the cold. Actually, yes. It was butt naked and didn't so much as a shiver. Anyway, we landed, approached the target. Corporal got ready to bag it. That's when the doctor, redacted, called. It turned to answer it, and that's what saved me. The target must have turned, and my whole squad saw it. That's when SCP-096 entered an agitated emotional state? Yep. Sorry. I got the willies for a second. No, that's all right. And yeah, well, I never saw its face. My squad did, and they paid for it up the ass. Could you describe it a little more, please? Yeah. It started screaming at us and crying. Not all animal warring, though. Sounded exactly like a person. Really fucking creepy. We started firing when it picked up the corporal and ripped off his leg. God, he was screaming for help. Fucking A. Anyway, we were blowing chunks out of the damn target. Round after round. Didn't do jack shit. I almost lost it when it started eating him. That's when you ordered the use of, what was it, a AT-4 HEDT launcher? Yeah, an anti-tank gun. Started carrying it over since SCP, redacted, got loose. I've seen those tear through tanks like tissue paper. Did the same thing to the target. Was there significant damage to SCP-096? It didn't even fucking flinch. It kept tearing apart my squad. Both half of its torso gone. But it was taking damage. If it wasn't showing it. It must have lost all its organs, all its blood, but it didn't acknowledge any of it. Its bone structure wasn't hurt at all, though it kept tearing my squad apart. So, no actual structural damage. How many rounds would you say were fired at SCP-096? At least, 1,000. Our door gunner kept his GAU-19 on it for at least 20 seconds. 20 fucking seconds. That's 650 caliber rounds pumped into the thing. Might as well have been spitting at it. This is when Zulu 9-B arrived, correct? Yeah, and my squad was gone. Zulu managed to get the bag over its head, and it just sat down. We got into the chopper and got out of there. I don't know how I never saw its face. Maybe God or Buddha or whoever thought I should live. The jackass. We have obtained an artist's depiction of SCP-096's face. Would you like to view it? You know, after hearing that thing screams and the screams of my men, I don't think I want to put a face to what I heard. No. Just no. All right. I believe we are done here. Thank you, Captain. Let this be on the record that I am formally requesting SCP-096 to be terminated as soon as possible.